everyone, it's Sharana from Payroll Weeks, and today I'm going to be reviewing Power Season 6, Episode 15, the series finale of Power. After 6 seasons, it has come to an end exactly how we planned it. You see what I did there? See how I took the name of the episode and tied it into that? I'm sorry, I'm loving how I come up with these things. But if you guys would have listened to me a couple of weeks ago, I told you guys who actually shot Ghost. I was like, I know that this is the person who shot Ghost. Y'all didn't want to listen to me. You were like, no, it's Tasha. No, it's Ramona. Ramona is Terry Silver's sister or something. But y'all didn't want to listen to me. You could have saved yourself all this headache of coming up with all these crazy theories if you would have just listened to me in the first place, because I figured out who shot Ghost. So, going into the beginning of the episode, so, they had to give us a little sex scene, a little something, because, ironically, Power used to have a ton of sex scenes. It was becoming so much that I was just like, Lord, this is too much for me. I'm trying to live right, but I keep seeing all these, behinds and just all of this sexual stuff. It was becoming too much, but this season it actually hasn't really been that many sex scenes. Really, it's been Rashad that's been giving us all the little goodies for this season. But we see that Tasha goes to see her little boo thing Q. I don't understand how they're together, why they're together, but it makes more sense for the sake of this episode. So she goes to see Q and she's trying to put it on him. She's trying to just, she was trying to take it. And he was like, hold up, is this something about your ex? And I was like, sir, mood kill. Why are you talking about her ex like this? She trying to get some. I'm sure you trying to get some. Why you stopping her right now? And even she had to be like, sir, ain't nobody trying to talk about my ex. Like, please stop. But then he got his life together and they was getting it. It was actually a very well filmed sex scene. I love the illusions and stuff, as if someone's watching through glass or something like that. And shout out to y'all showing the condom wrapper on the floor when she kind of discovers this gun that he has in his night drawer. But I was like, look at y'all trying to tell the kids to practice safe sex. I see you guys. I see what you were doing there. But we see that she gets a text from Tariq. He texts her like, ma'am, where are you? And then she come home trying to sneak in. She tried to sneak in all quiet. And then Tariq opened the door. I was like, hold up, Tariq, are you her parent or she your parent? And even she had to ask him like, sir, you asking me all these questions about where I'm at. And he was like, I was worried about you. I thought something happened to you. I told Ghost, don't put your hands on my mama no more. But she said she had took care of it, that she told the police that he is responsible for Terry Silver's death. And he was like, hold up, ma. Snitches get stitches. I don't mess with no snitches. And I was like, sir, but you didn't snitch on so many people. Maybe not to the police, but you didn't snitch on so many people and put a lot of people in predicaments. I was like, well, if this ain't the kettle calling the pot black. So she calls Sax, and basically because he ends up waking her up the next morning saying yo, you see this? When they make the announcement that he's possibly going to be the lieutenant governor candidate with Loretta Wash. And so she calls Sax, and Sax is like, no, we got this. I'm making sure that I'm doing everything in my power to make this happen. And I was just with Tariq when he's just he's not going to go down for anything. Do you see what is happening now? It's just not possible. So we see that Tasha goes to Raina's grave, and basically this kind of the whole back and forth that we see that she walks up and she sees that Ghost is talking to Raina, and then they go back and forth. But then I was just like, sir, did you really call her? What did he call her? I got to make sure I said this right. He called her a half-smart chicken head. I said, sir, that half-smart chicken head taught you how to clean your money right so you can do your little money laundering and stuff. You gonna call her a half-smart chicken head? Are you serious? You wouldn't even be where you're at without her. Now, I know Tasha has gotten a lot of flack in the past, and I mean, even for me, because if you would have just been okay with Jamie going straight and legit, we wouldn't even be in this predicament. But Jamie still has to take responsibility for the choices that he has made throughout the course of these 6 seasons. But I just thought that was so disrespectful. Then he was like, and I think Ramona, I'm taking the kids with me to the governor's office. He was like, Ramona's going to be a good influence. I said, sir, do you hear yourself right now? We would have had to fight, and I don't even condone putting hands on anyone, okay? But no, kind of, sort of, yeah, that's the Christian thing to say. But I don't condone putting your hands on no man, but I would have to fight you sitting up here telling me that you got this little raggedy chick, thirsty looking chick, who's gonna raise my kids? Are you serious right now? Like, you can't be serious with that. I just thought that was so disrespectful and what he said to her. So then we kind of go into the whole confrontation with Tommy and Tasha after Tommy finds out that she's the one that was responsible for killing Lakeisha. But then she gets a text from Sax telling her that they need to meet. And then we see Tamika with her nice little suit. Okay, she left the Eastern District Attorney's office. She got a good wig. She got that good suit. She making money now. And so basically, she finds out that Sax is basically going to get arrested. They need her to give some type of information on Ghost to be able to put him behind bars and save Sax from going to jail as well. But then she kind of learns information that Tate had something to do with all of this crap too. And so she goes to see Tate. Then Tate tells her about Ghost trying to make Tariq take the rap from Raymond Jones, how they found the blood and all of that. So she's just going like out of her mind, like, what is happening? Why are you not trying to protect her son? Like, what is going on? And so we see that when she goes to the penthouse to clean everything out, they give her a bag. And I guess this is how she got the other key to the Escalade back, which we'll know turns into another part of the plan that we'll get to in a little bit. But we see that her and Ghost get into it once again, and then she was like, have you ever loved me? Did you ever love me? And he was like, yes, I loved you. A part of me still loves you. And he was like, well, do you love our son? And he was like, what? And she was like, huh? I mean, that's kind of not how it happened, but she was just like, why are you trying to put our son in jail? Like, why are you telling our son that he needs to confess for a murder that your black behind said that you was going to take the rap for? Because remember, at first Tasha was like, well, I'll take the rap for it. He was like, if anybody's taking the rap for my family, it's going to be me. But you lied, and you stay lying, okay? That's why this lying got you shot in the first place. So, I had to clear my throat real quick. Starting to get a little hard to talk. But we see that Tasha basically goes to her little boo thing again, okay? So she goes to her boo thing, putting this little Oscar-worthy performance, like, things are going to be done for real this time. You know, I just going to go to this party and have him sign these papers. And then, you know, because you're there with me, you know, it'll give me the strength that I need to finally be done. I said, bitch, why are you lying to this man like that? And his old thirsty behind sitting up here falling for all of it. Like, yeah, I'm going to take you the truth. I was like, she's clearly trying to make you an accessory. She's trying to set you up. She's doing something sneaky. I know she is. And then we kind of see how all of that plays out. But we're going to put a pin in all of that. And then we got to go to Tariq all raggedy behind. So we kind of go through how Tariq meets with Mary Elise, or whatever the little girl, Elise Proctor's daughter, and her auntie and stuff, when he lying about Tommy. Then he goes talk to Tommy. I'm not going to go through all this because we talked about this before. We saw how Dre, you know, Tasha sent him a text saying Dre wants his money after he threatened Tasha, and then how Dre gave him the gun, had him set up a meeting with Ghost, you know, to try to be even and be done. So we see in the midst of all of this that he gets a text message from the teacher. Remember, he had got the teacher selling drugs for him, but he doesn't necessarily know that it's Tariq who is the person that's having him sell drugs. But he tells him that campus police found all his stuff. Tariq goes to the school. He sees the teacher being arrested. Then the guy comes up to him like, hey, did you know that Mr. Rainer, did you know that he had like drugs or whatever? He was like, no, I didn't know anything. I was just like, you just like your daddy. You just like your daddy. You're just lying all the time. So essentially, he goes to talk to his dad. And so keep in mind that he was at Truth already with a meeting with Dre and his dad, but he had his gun on him. So he put the gun in Truth, hid it, so he can go to school and take care of all of that. But then he goes to talk to his dad. They get into a heated exchange. He talking about, you disappoint me. And then he was like, I hate you. And he was like, you just trying to make me mad and I ain't got no more anger left to give. That's when you know your parents is really mad at you, when they just be like, I don't even have the energy to have a reaction. That's how fed up they are. And then when they tell you that you disappointed them, that's like the worst thing that a parent can say, because it's like, at least I know if you're angry, it's because you love me, because you just want more from me. But when they say I'm just disappointed, like I'm just done, I'm sick and tired of being mad at your behind. That's like when he felt he was crying and stuff. He like choked him up a little bit. I was like, but Tariq needed that a little bit. But I was like, Ghost, you were not Father of the Year either. I don't know why you think that this is the best way for him. I mean, I'll get into a conversation that him and Tasha had in the penthouse that kind of ties in to what happens at the end of the episode, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. But we see that he goes and tells Tasha like everything that happened, and she was just like, we got to take care of this. She's like, I have a plan. I've got the key to the Escalade. I need you to go to the Party of Truth, get your dad to like go to the dock or something. She said she's going to be hiding in the truck. And then as soon as he get in the truck, she gonna pop his behind or murk him, whatever they be saying. Y'all, I don't know what the kids say these days, but she's basically gonna kill him. So they said, all right, cool, deal. We're gonna get this plan going. And that's when she went and put on the waterworks to have Q be her getaway driver, even though he didn't know he was getaway driver and all of that. So we see that he goes to the club and then he gets the gun, but he leaves to go meet Tommy because Tommy hits him up. And this is when Tommy trying to convince him to help him, take care of Vincent and stuff, and take care of Dre because Dre was going to kill Ghost. So after that, when he told him, heck no, like if Dre want to kill him, let him die. I don't care. But then we see that he takes Vincent, and Tariq was the one who set Tommy up with Vincent, and that's why Tommy got into the shootout with Vincent in the first place, was hella dirty. I was just like, sir. But it was something funny. Tommy said that when he had told Tommy what happened with Melissa and her aunt, he was like, don't hurt her. He was like, don't hang her from the roof. And he was like, nah, that's just reserved for family. I was just like, I'm gonna miss you, Tommy. Oh, I just love him so much. So we see that. So now we're at the point, the plan's supposed to go through. And so Tariq's about to leave. He's like watching everything happen, watching the people leave outside. They turn the lights off. We see that Tasha has Q drop her off around the corner. She's getting in place. She's getting the Escalade. And then she got the gun pointed. She was like ready. I said, okay, Tasha's still about this life. But then she sees Shine. When she looks in the mirror, she sees Shine because, Shine used to be the driver. And then she was smashing Shine as well. So then she texts Tariq to ask him like, hey, you good? Make sure you make it home. And so as he's about to text her, like he's about to leave, we see that Kanan visits Tariq. And basically he was like, see, what I tell you about having a woman, because he really said the B word, but what I tell you about having a woman do your dirty work. And then they kind of have this back and forth and talk about how he is proud of him and how he knows what he has to do. He's always known what he needed to do. He just needs to finish it out. And so I thought it was interesting, the whole thing that he said, because he was like, it was always going to happen this way. And what did Sharonda say? She always said that Tariq was going to be the one to shoot his daddy, but didn't nobody want to listen. But Kanan was with me. I was with Kanan. Tariq got the memo. So Tasha's in the car, and then she kind of thinks for a moment. She realizes, because she saw that he started texting her, but then he stopped. So he stopped. So she tries to run in. But before all that could happen, he pulled a gun on his daddy. And so he was like, put the gun down, son. We can go spend time together. We can go on a trip. We can go on a campaign trail with me. I said, sir, how he gonna go on a campaign trail with you if you said that he needed to go to jail? Then you talk about, well, I'm gonna get you probation, all this stuff. I said, sir, I don't know if you're the best person to be making promises right now, especially he got this gun pointed at you. Then he like, I love you, son. I was like, sir, just like 2 scenes ago, you were choking this boy talking about you was disappointed. Now you talk about I love you? Like, sir, stop it. You just didn't know your son was capable of this. So he's confronting him. Tasha runs in to basically try to stop him, but she shoots him. He shoots him, he falls. And I find that this is so interesting because before he does, he tells him like, Tariq has basically been trying to become his dad. Like, to Ghost, he's been rebelling. I gave you all of this. I wanted you to do this, this, and that. But it's like he's becoming you. And when he tells him like, I am you. Like, you say that you don't like me or you're disappointed in me, but I am the person who you were. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I am you. And then he was like, I wish I could take it back. I wish I can go back to the day before you decided to leave us for Angela. And I was talking to one of my friends, and he was just like, I just don't understand the motive of why Tariq would do this. And I'm just like, he left his family for this whole other woman. Like, Tariq was on the up and up, but he was trying to then, maybe if I become him, like, he will want to come back to me. Or maybe if I do this, like, it's a cry for help, cry for attention from his father. But he didn't care. It was never enough to make him want to come back to his family, to make him want to leave Angela and go back to what their family once had. But he's only looking at it through the lens of a child, but he doesn't understand, which is when Ghost tells Tasha in the penthouse, like, you love the greatest drug dealer in New York. You've never loved the person that's standing up in front of you. You never wanted me to go legit. You've never wanted me to do more than just what I've always been doing. So I think it's kind of, everyone has a piece to play in this, but for James to never realize that his son was basically trying to become the version of him that he hid from Tariq for so long, I just found it very interesting, and it makes sense. And of course, this is why I said it had to be someone that he knew, for Jamie to be like, when he tells Tommy, just let it go, like, just let it be. It was always Tariq. We always knew it was going to be Tariq all raggedy behind. So can I just give Tariq, like, Michael Rainey, who plays Tariq? Yeah, his waves was swimming, though. I said, oh, I'm getting seasick, because you see his little waves. I just want to give him a little shout out, because them waves was hidden in this episode. So we see after he shoots him, then he start crying. He's like, I was like, so you should have thought about this before you shot your daddy, because he told you could never come back from this. So he goes to ditch his clothes. He tells his mom, like, I know what to do. Like, just leave. Like, I'm going to take care of us. He leaves, he goes back, he takes off the clothes that he had, he puts the clothes back on that he had on at the party, but then as he's about to leave, Saxo drunk behind, walking around, drunk, falling into stuff, so he runs out of the back. Before then we see Sax helping Rodriguez, Blanca, when she got knocked out by Dre, but then he threw his clothes in the dumpster. I was like, sir, didn't your mama tell you to burn the clothes? Like, what are you doing? And then he throws the clothes in the trash can. He comes back, walks around the front. He was like, hey, excuse me. Hey, my dad is the owner of this nightclub. Where's my dad? They was like, you gotta wait, let's get a detective. Where's my dad? He said he delivered an Oscar-worthy performance of him caring about where his daddy was, but trying to establish his timeline in case he has to get interviewed by the cops. So, essentially, he goes back home, and his mom asks him, like, where are your clothes? And he was like, I burned them just how you taught me. Going back to when Ray got shot and killed, when they had Tariq burn his clothes, when he finally realized, like, who his parents really were. But I was like, why didn't you lie to your mama? And we see how lying gets us in crazy predicaments, especially towards the end of the episode. But essentially, after all of this happens, Blanca, raggedy behind, shows up because before this, they have the meeting about the will. So essentially, James left nothing to Tasha, even though technically they were still married. He left all of his stuff to the kids. But shout out to him at least paying for her mama rent for like at least a year. I guess that was him like, well, you can go live with your mama. At least I paid for your rent for a year. But because Raina was killed, everything defaulted back to Tariq. But there is a stipulation on when Tariq could get his money. So the stipulation was Tariq had to go attend a 4-year college university, get a degree, and maintain a 3.5 GPA in order to get the money, which I thought was absolutely genius, because the only thing that Ghost has been telling him this whole time, go to college. All I ask you is to get your degree. And after that, you can do whatever you want to do. So I don't know why he was tripping, because I'm like, Tariq, you're hella smart. So a 3.5, that is nothing for you whatsoever. So I was like, I don't even know why you tripping. But Tasha comes up with a plan to go meet with Simon. And basically, she promised that he'll give the club to him, but he has to help him get into a college. I mean, my man got him into a college. Cool, fool ain't even graduated yet, okay? Got him in without him taking his GED, okay? So he's set up and taken care of. But Simon asked her to come work for him because he's like, we need diversity. I'm like, Simon, you've been saying diversity for a couple of seasons now. I don't know why it's so hard for you to find somebody. But in the meantime, this would solve the problem of them having money for the next 4 years, because I'm sure she would be making a sizable amount from Simon where he has his company. So before they can process all this, Blanca interrogates them. So I'm thinking they all pinning this on Dre. Dre's an easy target, but they don't know that Dre is actually dead at this point. But their story kind of works. So I'm thinking like Tariq about to crack, because he was like, I know. And then he asked the lady, can he go get him some water? And I'm like, Lord, Tariq finna mess this whole thing up. But he tells Sax out raggedy behind, because keep in mind, Sax got his job back, honey. They got Jacob fired, and then he called in a favor with John Mock. And he got him to be over the Eastern District Attorney's Office. So him and Blanca are interrogating him, but then he tells Sax, he was like, Sax, now I know it probably wasn't Dre, but then I would hate to have to tell them that I saw your raggedy drunk behind there too. And then he was looking at him like, and I was like, you better, because I can't stand Sax. Sax gives on my everlasting nerve since I first laid eyes on him, okay? So basically, Sax has to say, okay, Dre did it. And then he goes to tell Blanca, like, hey, girl, you in for a world of hurt, because you the one who let Dre out in the first place. And then Dre ends up being the one to shoot him. That's your behind. And she was like, you're not going to help me? And he was like, but why would I? And I was like, yeah, because you forget when you snitched on Sax, and that's how he was about to be in jail. Like, karma, Blanca, karma, because she been getting on my nerves since she first entered into this picture. I was like, ooh, I ain't never wanted him to take out somebody more in my life than Blanca. She is so annoying, okay? So then she tried to go get Two-Bit, because she calls to try to talk to Dre, but then she found out Dre got killed. Then she tried to get Two-Bit to talk. He was like, look, now I know Dre old punk behind didn't do it, but she was like, well, help me find out who. And he was like, I need to go back to my cell. Girl, ain't nobody worried about you. So I'm thinking that everyone gets away with all of this, because, you know, Tasha and Tariq are talking. He's like, no, it's Dre. She's like, but Dre is dead. Then Tasha, what's she get for thinking? She thinking she's smarter than everybody. So she calls her little boo thing Q. She basically ends up setting up Q. Well, no, she calls the police, okay, and says that she knows who shot Ghost. So then she up here giving him that good. And I was like, Lord, I mean, you know, at least she was going to give him some good to think about before she framed him. But then the police bust in, they take the gun, find the gun, and then he looking at Tasha like, I know what you did. And so I'm thinking like, dang, Tasha, like, you really going to do Q like that? Like, he had a kid. He was just trying to live for you, girl, be with you. Like, why would you do that? But we know Tasha ain't ish either. So I'm thinking she's getting away with this. You know, it's a new day. Tariq finna go to college. She got her job. She got her nice little Chanel suit with her little Christian Louboutin heels. I was like, okay, girl, you better go get work hard for the money. But then the police come in, is Blanca raggedy behind, and then she arrests Tasha for the murder of James Patrick, because Q wasn't no dummy. He's still a dummy for messing with Tasha, but he wasn't no real dummy, because he went to go get a drink while he was waiting on Tasha, because he knew something wasn't right about this. That Oscar-worthy performance might not have been Oscar-worthy after all. So he had an alibi. And so essentially she gets arrested, goes to jail. Tariq was like, Ma, but it wasn't her. She was like, Tariq, go to school. I was just like, okay, this is all just dramatics, but whatever. So I love what they do though, as they show Tasha walking into the jail, and as Tariq is walking into college, as they're starting these two separate paths, these two different chapters in their lives, and how they tried to do the Viola Davis thing when she took her wig off, but I was like, girl, it still don't have the same impact. But I was like, dang, at least you just had a fresh little braid and stuff, so you didn't look bad or nothing like that. But how he's like picking up his you know, his books and stuff, and how she's giving away her clothes, her old life. And when he walks into his dorm room and she walks into her jail cell, I just thought that was so well done, as they kind of do this acapella of it's a big rich town. And I was just like, and it goes off. I think that's pretty much, yeah, it goes off like that. So I guess now Tariq has to go to school and stay out of trouble, and try to figure out what he's going to do. But they have new Power spinoffs. So there's going to be a spinoff to show Tariq in school with Tasha in jail. And I find it interesting, because now Tariq is really a man, because he has nobody to protect him. And this goes back to the argument that him and Tasha was having in the penthouse, when he was talking about how we do everything for him. Like, that is why he is the way he is, because we're always cleaning up his mess constantly. But for the first time, he doesn't have Tommy, because Tommy's off and going to Cali for the spinoff Power Book 5 Force. He doesn't have Tasha because she's in jail. His dad is dead. He doesn't have a connect to the drugs. He literally has no one. Kanan is dead. Like, everyone is gone. And so now we have to figure out how Tariq is going to, like, just figure life out without anyone. But I thought that this was a good series finale. I really enjoyed this episode. And now, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of them going back and doing these episodes based on, like, certain characters, it makes more sense now because of all of the Power spinoffs. So Tommy's going to go to Cali for Power book 5 Force, and Rashad Tate has his own, as he's now going to be the governor of New York, Power book 4 Influence. And then we have the prequels about Kanan, Tommy, Angela, and Jamie when they were kids in high school, and then we're going to center around Tariq. So it's crazy to think, like, if when I first started watching Power, I never would have thought that now we will be at 5 shows, and that's including the Power series that started it all. But I think it's very great and amazing and commendable what 50 has done with the series and the way he's been able to spend all of this off. I don't know who in the heck finna watch all these 4 shows simultaneously, or if y'all gonna do like 2 a year. I don't know how y'all about to do that, but I would be there to see how these episodes take off. But guys, like, this is my last Power review with Ghost and all of them. It's like, it's a sad moment. It's sad, but we have other shows that we're going to talk about soon. I guess we'll have to wait for more details on release dates. But make sure you share your thoughts in the comment section below. What you guys think about it. Who was Team Tariq? Who knew that Tariq was going to be the one to shoot ghosts, as I did? But as always, my name is Sharona from Pair Weights, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit the notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. I'll see you soon.